Okie dokie. Yeah, so glad you all joined in. And for everyone watching after this, hello as well. Yeah, it's all about Black Friday. Black Friday has technically already started. So not the traditional Black Friday itself on the day it's just happening, but it's already started basically at the end of October. So it's getting even earlier than it used to. Um, for most of you, there are maybe some new updates. For everyone who's new, I will also go a bit more into detail about what stylink is in general. So it's not just for newbies, it's also for experienced styling creators. And like I said at the beginning of the call, if you have any questions in between that you have the feeling you don't know about, or if there are some questions that pop up during this presentation deck, then feel free to add them in the chat. So the agenda for today, yeah, first of all, might make sense to tell you who the person is talking right now in this presentation. So I'm Jack, I'm the team lead for the UK and Ireland, and I'll be your coach for today and be telling you a few things about stylink, some facts and what the benefits are of using stylink. Then also going a bit more into detail about how stylink works and how our algorithm works, because it can be very complex, the whole pence per click system, so that you get a better understanding of how it actually works. I'll show you a few tips and tricks and a bit more detailed insights, so you have a better understanding on how to do your general strategy for stylink, for example. And based on that, I will be showing you different business cases. So an example of what you can achieve in general, just to give you like a little motivation of and a little insight of what our creators earn, because sometimes based on the pence per click, you might think it's not that much, but because of the mass and based on the perfect strategy, you can earn a good amount of money with styling. The fourth part, I will then be going more into Black Friday itself and what tips and tricks I can give you to prepare for Black Friday and what you can already do now. And after that, I'll be answering any general questions you have. So it doesn't necessarily have to be Black Friday itself, but you can ask me general questions about your pence per click or whatever. But hopefully I can answer as many questions beforehand before we even get to that part. So just starting, I won't go too much into detail about these things, but maybe because it's also for newbies and not just for experienced influencers, I wanted to share a few facts about styling. So the most interesting things from the creator perspective is that we have 250,000 creators worldwide. And the good thing is it doesn't matter what follower count you have. So we have micro influencers, nano influencers, mega influencers. We have TV celebrities. So we have a big mix and a vertical of so many influencers. Anyone can join and anyone can recommend anything. And we have 80 million shop visits per month with this amount of creators. So there is a big manpower behind it. And we are in 12 different countries. Our biggest market is Germany, and the UK is the second biggest market. Why are we big in Germany? Because Stylink is from Germany. So if you didn't know that, that's a fun fact. I'm actually sitting in Germany myself. Most people think we're in London, but no, we always hop over with the plane. Been on the plane a lot this year. So when we have like creator events where we could potentially meet each other, then we do things like this as well. And we've been on the market ourselves for now 7 years. And as you can see, we have a team of 100 employees. So just for your imagination, like 4 years ago, it was only 5 employees. So we've been growing really, really fast. And not just like people like myself who lead the operations, but it's also everything behind it, business intelligence and stuff like that. Because it's very complex system, we have lots of IT things that we have to deal with. We have a new app now that came out, so we need people from the product side who you have to look into this as well. And this whole team, yeah, is there for you, so that we can give you the best platform that we can give you. So if you have any like questions or feedback you want to give us in general, feel free to do this here in the chat or contact our support. Also, So what is stylink? Just giving you an overview if you've never heard of stylink before in general, or if you have the feeling you don't know everything about it yet, I'll just give you a quick overview. So stylink is basically your daily product recommendation platform. This is our basis model. What we are doing with, or how we've grown with, is basically our baby. And we work on a pence per click basis, which I'll go more into detail in a minute. And we are the perfect matchmaker for influencers and brands. So like I said, we have 250,000 content creators worldwide, and we have over 1,000 partner brands globally, with brands such as H&M, Asus, Amazon, Marks and Spencer. So just a few well-known brands that we already work with. And what we are trying to focus on as well, and what we are building, we don't just want to be a platform based on pence per click and earning money, but we also want to be and trying to build a creator community so that you as a creator learn about styling, but also about other ways to earn money, like with the brands themselves, and just like through creator events, for example, getting people together. And some of the partner brands I just said, here's just a few others as well, from different verticals, and mainly fashion, because fashion works the best. But we also have beauty, home, food, fitness, and tech, which is really good for Black Friday as well. So don't just focus on fashion, for example. So if you want to try different things out, now is the best time to do it, because nearly everyone has something to offer during this certain period. Now, if you don't know the benefits, I'll share you the benefits of stylink right now. So anyone can register. That's why we have, nano influencers, micro influencers. We don't look at that because we think that everyone can recommend a product or recommend anything. So if it's fashion you want to recommend, or if it's the neighbor who wants to know how you cut your grass with a lawnmower, then you can recommend that, or any kitchen stuff. So you can do anything really. And the best thing is you earn money with every click. And once you've linked today, and if you hit the £25 mark immediately, then you can cash out the next day. So if you're ready for or need to get a bit of earnings for Christmas presents, for example, now would be the time to get some early cash and get it out. And yeah, when you're a good performer with certain brands, then you get the opportunity to take part in exclusive campaigns. Yeah, you can have regular coaching calls with us, like this one now, but also one-to-one coaching calls. And we also do education workshops. I'm just going to check to see if everyone is in here. Just going to, not that I'll leave anyone out. Yeah, looks good. Okay. Now I'm just going to continue where I left off. How stylink works. Now, this is probably the most important part for everyone, for all creators. So like I said, it can be very complex, and to understand what pence per click you get, you have to understand the whole model behind it. So in this case, we did like a circle, but you can also see it as a triangle, however you like. So we are a platform that works with networks, brands together, and also with you creators. So with the brands, we also get a provision ourselves based on a called cost per order. So we get a certain percentage with a brand, and the higher percentage we get with a brand, the higher pence per click we can give you as a creator as a basis. So we turn this, and based on experience and lots of calculations, we change the CPO into a CPC, so a pence per click. And based on then the performance, I'll go more into detail into the next page. Then based on your recommendations and how and where you link stuff and the click performance ratio, that's how your pence per click basically comes together. So for example, on the next page is a bit more clearer. So if you start on a default, you've never linked any shop before, you start at 8p, for example, and you do your first links and you're performing really, really good, then you will get to 10p, for example. If your performance is average, it's not too bad, but it's also not really good, then you will stay on this 8 pence. And if your sales performance is really low and you didn't sell that much or hardly anything, then it will go down to 6p, for example. And that's how it basically works. So It goes, if you buy if you sell a lot and have the right product, which is mainly, for example, what I can always recommend, what I'll tell you about later as well, is if you do a Louis Vuitton bag, for example, most likely that will not sell because the average follower or the average audience can't buy it, obviously, because it's too expensive. So the sales performance would go down. What always works is, for example, which is good for Black Friday now, for as an example, is when things are in a certain budget. So everything like under 25 to 50 pounds, one average follower can buy. So if it's something trending or something that is normally really expensive but is now for a few days in sales, linking these things will really work, because even though it's not that expensive and you will get less provision, the mass of sales will give you a better sales performance. So this is definitely something that you should keep in mind and not focus too much on things that are too expensive, for example. And one thing also which can change your pence per click, where you can't do anything for it, us neither. So if a brand, for example, has a certain budget and they, at the end of their financial year, for example, have to put their percentage down for us as a company, then we obviously have to put the pence per click down for you as well. So without you knowing it, even though you're performing good, your pence per click can go down due to a reason like this. And one also thing we check, so and the reason why we do this is to grant you a next day cash out, is that we look at the return rates. So we look at the return rates individually, and if we see that a creator has like 90% return rate, then we know, okay, there's people are buying, but so much is going back. This will also affect your pence per click and or potentially make it down. But also the other way around, if we see that your return rates are extremely low, then we can grant you a higher pence per click, because we know that people are going to buy it and actually keep it and not send it back. So all these things are all basically looked at and calculated. And yeah, that's why it's a bit complex, and many people don't understand what's actually behind it. So if you've never created a stylink with our link maker before, then this is a small example with 5 steps how you can make it. Since last week, we have now an app. So we've been waiting for this. This is feedback we've been getting for like since we exist, basically, that our creators want an app, and now we've finally got it. For Android, it's still not out yet, so that will come soon, hopefully sooner than later. But for iOS users, there's a QR code here, so you can use the QR code now to download it, so that you can have a look at yourself how to use the link maker in the app, because even the experienced creators, maybe some people don't even know that we have an app yet, so have a try out. But we also have a web version where you can, if you would rather make your links online on a website, for example, and prepare there, then you can also do this in a web version. So, but you can also find us in the App Store now. So if you just type in Stylink, you'll also find us there, so you can download that directly. And once you've opened the app, so it's very simple. If you already know what product you want to link, then you're already at step 3, basically. But if you want to have a look at what shops we have, you can scroll down in the link maker itself and then pick, for example, one of our partner shops. So most likely you'll pick a shop with a high pence per click because you want to earn a bit more. But I always recommend to still have a look at shops with less pence per click, because sometimes some people have a niche, or some brands have things which you might not think of, which work really well. So test out other brands as well, and not just the well-known brands, especially during this period. So if you see that shop XYZ, for example, has 50% off and never has sales, then you can just take that URL link off the starting page and just use it as a style link. And yeah, that's definitely worth a try. So once you've picked your product link, you take the product link from the app or from the website, and then you stick it into our link maker. And then you basically create a style link with the link. And then you can copy this link directly and put it onto your Instagram, your TikTok bio, whether Pinterest, for example, or on a website. You can all do this, and then you will get a after everyone clicks on your link and presses the pink button, then you'll earn your pence per click. And as I said, then everything after that is based on the follower, if they buy it or not. So I really recommend, I mean, this is an example, for example, just a photo, just a screenshot what I made. But if you're actually really talking about the product and why you love it and why it's really good, that always helps have a better sales performance than just randomly putting a photo in. So if there's specific things where you really believe that it's really good, and it's because if you believe in it, it's going to be more authentic. And if you do it like that, the sales performance will be much better than just having a photo in, for example. But for the time period now, Black Friday, because there's so many different offers, it's still so that you can quickly do it. You can even do graphics yourself. But yeah, if you want to talk about something, that works way more. And now I brought something with you. It's a case which I always like to show. It's one of our styling creators. And sometimes we even know when I talk about like if you're on 5 pence, 8 pence, sometimes it sounds low and you think, oh, I'm not going to earn much of that. But just to show you how much you can earn with a pence per click model, and this is from someone who does it as like a side hustle. So this person has an average of 8 pence per click, and she created 14 links a month. So that's creating a link every 2 days. So it's not even that much. But because she also got a high amount of gross clicks with every link and had a lot of fall through of what she wanted to post, she got an average of £450 per link, which is really good. And because she used a different variety of different brands and not just fashion, but also beauty, home, and tried to look at different parts and try different things out, at the end of the year, she got an average annual of 77k pounds as a side hustle. And she also has, general paid partnerships with other brands. But this is just a perfect example of what you can achieve with 8 pence, for example. And some shops even have even more. They have 10, some have lower, but like the better your sales performance is and the better you describe a product and the better it sells, then your pence per click will eventually go up. And then this is what you can basically achieve. Here, I just wanted to show you some creators using stylink, and just again, stylink isn't just for big influencers. It can be anyone. So this is Jody, for example. This is our brand ambassador. She's a micro influencer. Then we have Worn by Molly. She's also been growing. She's a macro influencer. Then we have TV personalities like Peggy, who was in Married at First Sight. Then we also have Charlotte Crosby. She's also well known for things like Geordie Shore. And then we also have what we call faceless influencers. So this is Girls Love High Street. If you want to look into that page, it's really, really good. They do what we called like outfit grids. So they don't actually show their face, but they gather bits together and show like from different shops or from the same shop and build like an outfit. And with the help of the stylist, for example, you can make a link collection. So if you have different stylists but want to post an outfit grid like this, for example, then you can use one stylist link. And if people click on that, then you will be brought to the whole outfit, basically. And then you can, if you say, oh, I only want to look at the t-shirt, then your audience will only click on that and not click on every single piece. Because the more you post on Instagram stories, for example, if you do like 20 stylings behind each other, like the first stylings will be clicked, but the rest they won't, because the engagement is higher when you do less story sequences. So a stylist link will keep the story sequences down or less, so you don't have to do too many stories. And then with the stylist, then people click on it but still have all the links, and you're keeping your engagement high on social media. Now, getting to probably the best part now for you, getting ready for Black Friday. So you can use this for Black Friday, but you can also use this in general as well. And it's basically some tips and tricks that I always like to recommend, which always work really well. And based from the feedback of creators, what I've got over the past, it's just a no-brainer to do these things. So I put in 6 different steps, which will help you enormously. So if you've never done any of these steps before, I highly recommend it. And if it doesn't work at the beginning, it will work. If you keep on doing this, this will gradually help you grow on Instagram. If you do it continuously, and it will also help with your general styling performance as well, which will also help you have a better pence per click throughout your styling career. So one thing, I put an example above as well, is making wish lists and gift guides. So you can create lists and folders in your stylist, even with things that you don't even have. So a wish list, for example, are things that you maybe even have in real life that you want to buy, and you're just sharing that this is your wish list, but maybe someone else wants to have it as well. So just because it's your wish list, you can you don't need to keep gatekeeping things and spread what you think is really cool. You can do that in the wish list and put it in your stylist, and then just share it with this, for example, is an outfit grid, like I just explained. You can do it like that. It doesn't have to be fashion. I mean, this is fashion, for example, but you can do it with beauty. You can do it like with Amazon. There's lots of different tech things. So if it's a MacBook or earphones, AirPods, an iPhone, or whatever, you can do anything really. Or even if it's something for the kitchen, for example, even if it's a toaster, plates, a nice mug, for example, you can do that all without even actually having it. If you have it, then you can do it as well. But these are things just to help people see what your wish list is, so that they can maybe have ideas for Christmas, for example. So adding a nice gift guide, because Christmas is coming up, and all advanced calendars and stuff like that. And if you need ideas, or if you want to share your audience with ideas, then you can do this easily with the stylist, and also while keeping your engagement high. So I definitely recommend that you all look at the stylist in general, which is in the app as well. And the stylist itself will actually be updated next week. So we'll have a new design, which will even have a much more better look. So keep an eye out for that. And the stylist, if you have that in your bio as well, for example, then this will increase your sales performance as well. Because even in the periods when you're not posting anything, then people who get to your Instagram account and click on your bio, they're interested in what you're recommending, for example. And without you doing anything, this will help, because the stylist is an always on feature, and definitely something you should all look at. Yeah, make your own collages. So if you've never done it before, I can recommend using Canva, for example. I mean, this whole presentation I made was made with Canva as well. So you can easily put in products you find on the website, for example, and put them in a graphic. And then it also gives you some recommendations. And then you can just build up together everything you recommend, put all these stylings into your stylist, and then use the stylist to recommend it. And if you don't want to use a stylist, then you can do, like I said, multiple stories. But at some point, your engagement might get a bit lower, but because there are so many different sales opportunities during Black Friday, and some people have already started now. For example, Asus currently has 25% off, so use that for your advantage and do something of that now already. And but that's why I also put in morning check-ins, especially during this period, to look at your favorite shops and look every morning. Okay, like sometimes some shops update their sales around 10 a.m. Like when the shops open, and have different sales that they want to share. So sometimes it goes up, it starts maybe at 30, then it goes to 40, 50. But look every day, because sometimes we also get some information that we can spread out. But most of the time, some brands need to act quick and change some things that we even don't know. That's why we check ourselves which sales are currently up to date. So I recommend looking every morning, and if there's something really good and really special, make a link of the shop itself. You don't even have to recommend any product. Just take the link of the shop and say, shop XYZ has currently 50% off. Have a look into it, blah, blah, blah. And they also have sometimes the link to where the most sales are. So you can also use this link. So you don't necessarily need to just use product links. You can use shop links, or any links basically connected to the shop. Because as long as you bring the people and your audience to the shop itself and they buy something, everything in the basket will be part of your commission. So this is something that also many people don't know, which is also why I can also maybe step in right into the cookie part. Because you shouldn't wait until Black Friday itself. You should start now, basically. Why should you start now? Because with some shops, you can have up to 30-day cookie periods. Why are these cookies important to you? So if one of your followers clicks on your link today, for example, that says, I'm not going to buy anything now because I don't really need it. I'm going to wait, and maybe there's going to be a better offer. So if this person like waits until Black Friday actually comes and there is a better offer, the commission will still go to you as a creator because you brought this person a week beforehand to the page. So some shops have cookies for even 1 day. Some cookies are saved for 2 weeks, and some shops have it for 30 days. And as long as when the person goes back and when the shop technically sees, okay, stylink creator XYZ brought this person to the shop, then you'll still get your earnings. So that's why it's all about spreading the cookies now, so that you can take advantage of everything that happens from now on to Black Friday and afterwards. So if somebody even is always in this period, then you'll definitely keep your commission high. And that's definitely something I really recommend, spreading cookies as much as you can, because it does mean, like I said, they don't have to buy now. Everything that happens after can still come to you as your commission. And what also helps in this point is because there are so many different types of discounts. If you already have seen different types of discounts and you know they're on that day, it's going to be the last day of the Black Friday offer, for example, because sometimes they go a bit longer or start earlier, then do an actual content schedule. So this will really help you do more and spread out cookies from different shops. So on one day, for example, you can do, let's say, H&M, for example. On the next day, you can do ASUS, or on the next day, you can do Amazon, for example. So spread all of your cookies all around so that you still get earnings, even though you're not posting it today. So that you keep your commission and have an income from multiple shops and not just one. So don't ever focus just on one shop. Use the variety of shops that we have to your advantage. And the best way you can do it is by scheduling it and keeping the engagement high by not overwhelming people or spamming people on social media. And the last tip I can give is, using your Instagram bio. And if you have the possibility on TikTok, and you've have over 1,000 followers and a business account, use the TikTok link as well to your advantage. Put the stylist in there, because that always helps as well. Sometimes it's randomly if you go viral or not, but TikTok can really help as well, increase your sales performance, and as well as putting it, like I said, in your Instagram bio. Then this will definitely help you grow from a long period as well. And a good thing with Instagram is you can even put 5 links into your bio. The easiest would be having your stylist link as the first link, so that people click on that and see it as the first link, because then it will be more likely that people click on it than if it's somewhere on the 5th placement, for example. And based on this experience, we've done a few tests. For example, as the stylist came out last year, we were looking, okay, will this change the performance in general? And we can definitely say, yes, if you have the stylist in your bio, then like I said earlier on, if you don't even post or you're on holiday and people still get to your account and buy something, you're still spreading cookies without being engaged yourself on social media at a time period. So always keep it in there, because it will, on a long term, increase your general sales performance, which will help you eventually have a much more higher pence per click. And then, like you saw on the best case, for example, then you can get a certain amount of money as a income on the side. Now I've been talking quite a lot, so I'm going to have a look now if you have any questions. So if you haven't signed up yet before, here is also a QR code where you can basically scan it and sign up for free, and just have a muck around. And like I said, we also have now the app in the App Store. So you can either do it directly via the App Store as well, And if you have any questions in between, we have a WhatsApp number where you can contact us here. And for example, our email, you can also contact us here. And also on Instagram, we have our normal stylink Instagram page, which is our main page, but we also have a support page extra for the UK and Irish market. So if you have any questions on Instagram and want to quickly pop in a question, then you can also do it there, as well as general feedback. So yeah, you can all do it based on this. So now I'll just stop sharing my screen so that I can go back to where I came from. So I'm just going to check if any questions are in here. So what we're currently in the planning phase for 2025, and what we want to do next year, which is something that we haven't done that much before, is also education events in general, in combination, with ourselves, with a dinner or something like that, or with the help of management, so that it's not just styling, but also that learning how to do social media in general. So we are focusing on that for 2025 throughout the year in different cities, but we haven't planned the actual dates yet. So this will probably happen throughout the year, but this is definitely something that we want to do because we want to focus on that more. Will all the campaigns be for only 5,000 plus followers? Yes, this is something that we've to put in because based on the experience we've had, the performance with creators below 5,000 isn't that impactful enough for brands. So that we have to obviously, when we do campaigns with brands, give them a good sales performance, which is why we pick individuals where we know, okay, they are one of the best performers. And just from our experience, everything below 5,000 hasn't been that good for this performance that the brands want, which is why it currently is for 5,000 followers only. But what we might have in the near future, which is already being tested in Germany, which is interesting for nano influencers, for people below 5,000 followers, is something called UGC. And that is something that will be based on general content videos, and it doesn't really necessarily matter how many followers you have. And will be a different type of campaign, which will be coming in the near future. Yes, and also if you need more tips or need to do a one-on-one call so that one of our team members can have a look more into it, contact us, because we also do coaching calls one-to-one. So just feel free to shout out to us and contact us directly. Yeah. So basically, if they click on your link today for PLT and don't buy it immediately and go back the next day, then it will count as still count as your sales, because if they go back in, the cookies will still be saved, and then you'll still be getting your earnings through that. Yeah. So it depends on the brand. For PLT, for example, I think it's the total of 30 days cookie rate, for example. For H&M, for example, I know it's like 2 weeks, for example. And for Amazon, they are very picky, for example, and it's just 1 day. So for Amazon, I highly recommend, if you link something, then that has to be sold immediately. But with all other shops, it's a long variety, and that's how it normally works. Even if they don't buy that product. Yeah, even if they don't buy that product and buy something else, it will still count as your sales. So everything what goes into the basket will count as yours, because you're bringing this person to the website. So it doesn't matter if it's the product or something completely different, it will still count as yours, because you made the effort and recommended something, and because you brought this person to the website, you earned that as well. Because technically, without you and your recommendations, they wouldn't even reach the website. Cookies always refresh. So even if this person is someone who's bought something from the shop before but hasn't used it for a long time and goes back to the shop because they clicked on your link, then it will count as your sales performance. That's why I can only say again, cookies, it's quite complex and a bit mad, because you can go even further into detail. But cookies are so important because not everyone buys immediately, or when they're on the go, for example, or in a bus. So they want to eventually get back to it and take time, or ask their partner if it's the perfect dress, for example. So yeah, it works like this. So we work with brands on a so-called CPA basis. So we get a certain percentage of the sale as a company, and when we know what rate it is, we change it based on experience and other calculations into a pence per click. So, for example, if we know that a certain shop has XYZ%, then we know we can give you 8 pence, for example. And this is like the starting point. So when you use, and then when you start then using basically your links, then we see, because we have a different different technical ID for each creator, so that we see which creator brings in the sales. And when we see that in our system that you've brought in, for example, a lot of money, then our algorithm detects this because we're getting the provision of the company, but we still see it in detail that it was you who brought it in and the exact amount. And then based on the amount that you've brought in and the amount that you've earned, like for example, if through the link you earned not enough, then we know, okay, we have to give you more. So the next time when you link, that you get a higher pence per click because you've been performing really well. And the same the other way around. So if you've linked something that didn't bring in anything and you've earned too much, that's why we have to put the pence per click down. So as a company, we are always taking the risk of giving you something first. And we obviously reward you if you've brought in way more than expected, which is why then you get the higher pence per click. So it's all based on that growth. Yes, this is definitely something that you should always do. One thing when I started at stylink 2.5 years ago, it was I was quite surprised how helping everyone is in the creator community, helping each other grow. And I've seen so many creators who, as I started, they were like at 40, 50K. And through things like this, they've now grown and have achieved more than 400,000 followers. So it's really crazy. It's definitely something that once you start doing something like this, then eventually other people will help you do the same, and just by spreading the word. And one thing in general, which I can always recommend, which has already been seen in the past and based on feedback from other creators, is commenting. I know it takes time, but commenting on other creators' things, just getting awareness for yourself to grow, and this will help you get more into the creator world, into the creator community, and also connect yourself with other fellow influencers. And this will definitely help you grow. And even if sometimes there's some people who are a bit negative, just ignore them. Just do the thing that you love. Just create, because eventually, even though it will take a bit of time, but the consistency is definitely something that will help you grow. And then you'll see that in your earnings as well. And I mean, stylink is just one part. For example, we do it on a pence per click basis, the affiliate side of things. But once you've reached a certain amount of followers, for example, often I see when you've reached 150, 200K, then that's like the period where you get paid collabs and stuff like that. So always push and do things like that you just wrote in the chat. We do every now and then things like Creator of the Month newsletters. And what we do occasionally as well on our social media is like when you always tag stylink, then we try and repost as much as we can. Obviously, with the amount of influencers, it is kind of hard. But this is definitely something I can take with me, because we haven't specifically done that before, that we've done like a post of check out these influencers. These are ones to look at, but it's definitely a good idea to place that on our own main account. So yeah, thanks for the idea. But yeah, we definitely do that in newsletters, and it's something that we can definitely also do in WhatsApp broadcasts and stuff like that. Because at the end of the day, we just want to help everyone grow as well. Because if you grow, we're obviously growing. So yeah, and stuff like that. If you have more feedback for us, spread it out and you pass it on to us. Okay, that's good feedback. Feedback that I will pass on. Yeah, like I said, the stylist is currently being also updated. So next week, hopefully we'll also have a new design when you use it. And yeah, it's the first time that we've created an app, so some things will have to be a bit more smoother, which we've already written down. And yeah, a few glitches as normal for us newbies in the app world, but we're currently working on it. And the stylist in general is a project for 2025, so we are constantly updating it. And one thing as well that I can also say about the stylist, I don't know if you've seen it before. So sometimes there are some shops like that you want to use that we don't have on our platform yet. And you also have the opportunity to use external links. So you can even technically, I don't know, if you have like a website, for example, then you can also put that into your stylist so that it's all gathered together. Yeah, and with Android, we're currently waiting. So from our side, it's finished basically, but it's just currently getting it approved from the Google store. And once that's happened, then it will be online straight away, and then we will let you know. So we're just waiting for the last approval, and there's Apple on that side is a bit easier, thank God. So it's not our fault. So sorry, but it will eventually come. Yeah, exactly. You can use any links we like because we know like the creator world is not just us that exists. You can use like if you have a paid partnership, for example, with a certain brand directly, then like you can put it in there as well. Like because as long as you're bringing people to your stylist, then we're happy with that because then they'll also find your other recommendations. So feel free to have a test around and yeah, let us know what you think once you've tested it with the external links as well. So 3 minutes left. I think it's a good time to come to an end. Thanks for all your questions, and hopefully I could help you with a few things and give you a few insights about styling and a better understanding of how it works because it's so complex. And like I said, if you have any questions in between, just let us know because we are always open to feedback and we always want to give you the best platform that we can. And only with your feedback and your questions, we can improve, help you grow, and then you can help us grow. And that's how things work in the creative community. So yeah, thanks for joining in and have a nice rest of the week. And yeah, happy Black Friday week. I don't know, it's not a Black Friday anymore, it's the whole week. So yeah, make the best out of it and see you soon. Bye bye.